On a breakaway, scores!
Big hit at the blue line.
And he got waffle boarded. What a save!
He shoots, he scores.
Drives in, score!
This is the Six Hockey.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Six Hockey. My name is Simon Hendricks. Thank you so much for joining us today, joined alongside by my friend Sammy Brzozowski, as always. And today we have a great GTHL U16 AAA Division Semifinal playoff matchup. It's our second series of the Semifinals run that we're going on. And this one's between the Toronto Junior Canadiens and the Markham Majors. Markham Majors a little bit of an underdog. They upset the Don Mills Flyers in their quarterfinal series. That series went to a pivotal fifth game where they won by a score of 2-1. Whereas the Canadiens, they steamrolled the Mississauga Senators in their quarterfinal series in 3 games, only allowing 1 goal. So it may be a little bit of a David versus Goliath story. You'd never know, but don't count the Majors out. Game 1, anything can happen.
Absolutely. I mean, the Majors, they've proven that they can fly above their station, if you will. At the start of the season, people thought Don Mills Flyers, I'm sure I'll mention this later in depth, but the Don Mills Flyers, people are saying they could win it all. They could repeat. Obviously, the rosters change. It's not like it's the same team as last year in the U16 division, but the U16 division is the premier division. U16, U17, U18, what have you. Those are the best teams in the league. To see the Don Mills Flyers bounced out in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
It was surprising, but I think the Markham Majors proved that they deserve to be here.
Oh, 100%, Sammy. That's a great point. And without any further ado, let's just jump right into some players to watch. Obviously, everyone on the Majors team seems like they stepped up their game in that quarterfinal series, but there was one guy in particular that we were very impressed with.
Yeah, my player to watch, Joseph Fenwick. He sounds like he's from Harry Potter, and other than that, he's pretty awesome. He's very fast. He's got a good two-way game, and he has a knack for goal scoring and setting up his teammates in the offensive zone. Truly an all-around guy that any team would be lucky to have. But he's also one of those players that can step up in big moments. You know, when your team needs you in the quarterfinals against one of the best teams in GTHL, who steps up? Joseph Fenwick. And I expect him to keep that going in this series against a dynamite team in the Toronto Junior Canadiens.
And now we chose someone, I guess I should say the Markham Majors, just right off the hop. They don't really have one true superstar on their team. We could have picked any type of player on that team. Whereas the Canadiens, they are led by a few players, not to say that the rest of their roster is not incredibly talented, but they got a few top names in that lineup, and I think you chose someone that kind of reflects that for this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to pick the guy who got my Six Hockey first star of the series. I'm going to go ahead and pick Braden Grima. Grima's fantastic. I mean, he is a player that is just an elite goal scorer on the wing. He has very good off-puck offense. He always finds himself in good positions, but he can set up teammates as well. You see him at the top of the quote-unquote key, top of the circle in between the blue line, moving it towards a one-time pass, whether it's to O'Rourke, whether it's to Kawadjo or what have you. He's just one of those guys that has a nose for goal scoring and a nose for setting up his teammates. Earlier in the season, we likened him to Kyle Connor. We've kind of switched that comparable because Kyle Connor, great goal scorer, not necessarily known for his playmaking, very fast as well, but we think he's more comparable to a Jason Robertson, a guy who can just do everything on the ice, basically. A guy who is just has a special nose for offense that not many players do. Braden Grima will be a factor in this series.
Very well put, Sam. I'm sure him, along with Cash Kwaja, great name. I don't know if you mentioned that before. I'm sure that top line and a couple of the top D-men, they're going to have a lot of ice time in this series, so certainly someone to watch out for. Number 96 on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, Braden Grima. Now switching gears, talking about the goaltender matchups for the Junior Canadiens, it will be number 29, Zidane JC. He only got the one start in that series against the Mississauga Rebels, as it was Misic getting the other 2 starts, something to keep an eye out for perhaps. And for the Markham Majors, it will be number 35, Cohen O'Neill. Him and Dylan Sack, they split the games pretty evenly throughout that series with the 5 games against the Don Mills Flyers. However, Cohen O'Neill, we've seen him multiple times, kind of more or less can carry the Markham Majors to a victory. He's a very reliable hand in between the pipes for the Majors. Sammy, what do you have on these guys?
Conan O'Neill is very athletic. I like the way he moves side to side in the crease to stop cross-crease opportunities or cross-ice opportunities. He's very good one-on-one as well. We noticed that in the regular season. And I think he is a guy that can steal games away from good teams. Conan O'Neill, I mean, Dylan Sack's also incredible. I will say the Markham Majors, they have one of the best goaltending duos in this league from what we've seen. And for the junior Canadiens, Zidane Jaycee, I mean, he's played one playoff game. He didn't let in any goals. It's as simple as that. He's a solid goaltender as well. The junior Canadiens, they have the same problem that the Markham Majors have. They have two good goalies, and it's a great problem to have. I expect both Dylan Sack and Marko Misic to both be starters in this series as well. And maybe if you ride the hot hand, but maybe they just keep going with the 1A, 1B, and see where that takes them.
Very well put yet again. So without any further ado, we've set the table here. Majors versus Canadiens, game 1 in the semifinal series, and let's take it to the ice.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Scotiabank Pond and welcome to the Six Hockey in today's game. This is game 1 of the Junior Canadiens versus Markham Majors semifinal matchup in the GTHL U16 AAA Division playoffs. My name is Simon Hendricks, joined alongside Sammy Brzezowski. Canadiens swept the Mississauga Rebels in their quarterfinal series, only allowing one goal that entire 3-game series. Majors coming off a hard-fought 5-game victory over the Don Mills Flyers. Some call it an upset, but it was a great series nonetheless. Sammy, how you feeling?
I'm feeling very excited. You know, we do have a bit of an underdog and David and Goliath story on our hands here. The Junior Canadiens, from the start of the season, were destined to go to the GTHL finals, but the Majors, who took down the Flyers, they did have a better record than them in the regular season. They're standing in the Junior Canadiens' way, and I think they're going to give the Junior Canadiens a run for their money, a way in which the Junior Canadiens haven't faced already. They, like we said, just breezed by the Rebels, and the Markham Majors, they put up a much taller task.
And today in net, it is Zidane Jaycee, who did start a couple, was it 1 or 2 games, Sammy, in that Rebels series? I can't exactly remember.
He started game 2 in that one, so he picked up a shutout in game number 2 with Marko Misic getting the other 2 starts. Jaycee didn't allow a goal in the one game he played, so he's not allowed a goal in the playoffs so far, so that's always a good thing to go into the semifinals with that kind of achievement under your belt.
That's exactly right. And for the Majors, it is Conan O'Neill in net. Him and Dylan Sack, they took, I guess, a game on, game off kind of thing. O'Neill was the starter for that crucial Game 5 victory, as there was a chance for the Canadiens early. That sounding pass didn't connect with anyone, and it's the Majors going the other way. That was Fenwick breaking into the zone. Quinn, he's alongside, entangled in the puck battle with a few defensemen around him. If you're the Majors, you know, you're talking about the underdog story in this one. What do you think their mentality is heading into this after a very hard-fought series against the Flyers where it was taken to 5 games? And like I said, some would consider that an upset already.
I don't think they see themselves as an underdog. I think that was on full display in the series against the Flyers. Of course, you called that quarterfinals recap. If you haven't watched those already, folks, go and check that out on the YouTube so you can see how we got where we are. But watching that Majors team, they looked confident against a Flyers team, which at the start of the season, everyone thought would go far. They thought they might have a chance to repeat as GTHL U16 AAA champions. Of course, it is a different lineup. Of course, the thing with these U16, U17, what have you divisions is that it's constantly changing. But if I'm the Majors, I don't think that they are underdogs. I think that they think they can win any possible game that is put in front of them, and you see that in the way they play.
You certainly do. Currently a lot of, I guess, underrated talent, you could say, on this Majors team. And on a team like the Junior Canadiens, some high-level talent where you know the names of guys like Braden Grima, Cash Quadja, Rico Champagne, all of these guys who came into this season being the top-rated prospects in, I guess, the whole league. And this Majors team, you know, they're just, like we said, trying to prove these doubters wrong. As the Junior Canadiens, they win that face-off battle in the offensive zone. That was a shot on first save of the night for Conan O'Neill right to the chest as the Majors look to turn the other way. That's Walsh chasing after the puck, but the Canadiens, they get it out of their zone. Some turnovers early in this one, not so many grade A opportunities just a few minutes into this first period, and that pass misconnects as the Majors try to break out of their zone. That's O'Rourke holding the puck. A nice stretch pass along the far side ice. That pass tried to find Champagne as he goes to find it in the corner and sent around the back of the net. Trying for a centering pass. That shot is hit a few times into the pads of O'Neill. A fire drill in the net is lodged off the pegs. My goodness, that was Rico Champagne around the back of the net, hammering away on the side of the net. That puck did not go in. An early test for Cohen O'Neill.
Champagne, he picked up a goal in the series against the Rebels. I believe it was the first goal of game number 2. He is always an offensive force for this team. Like you said about the Junior Canadiens, they really have no shortage of talent. We talk about Kawaja, we talk about Grima, but then there's other guys who are constantly factors as well. Guys like Jackson Zinke are always coming into the play. Kate O'Rourke, Cooper Ross on the back end. So for the Junior Canadiens, they have a bunch of depth where the Majors, they have depth as well. I wouldn't even say the Majors have their lone superstar. You know, they don't have the guy that you think, hey, this guy is the best player on the ice at all times. But what they do have is 5 solid, decent players that play good team hockey. And sometimes those are the teams that win championships.
That was Grima's shot from the slot, and that hit the block row of O'Neill and sent wide. Braden Grima, certainly one of the stars in this league for the Junior Canadiens. Cabrari, he tries to center that one. That pass doesn't get through. Trying to find number 11 Wang, the U15 call-up in this one today for the Majors. Didn't see any action in that series against the Don Mills Flyers. A nervous start, I'm sure, for number 11 out there as the Majors. They try to win that puck battle along the far side wall. I like your point, Sammy, when you said the Majors, they play a good team style of hockey, a bit of a contrast to the Canadiens, where they are led by guys like Braden Grima, number 96 out there, and Cash Kwaja. And, you know, you can say that for a lot of players on this Canadian team, but a bit of a contrast with, you know, these styles of play and, I guess, the team concepts and how this rosters are constructed.
Yeah, and it's not to say that, you know, the Junior Canadiens, they aren't a good team-oriented lineup as well. They do have excellent passing in the offensive zone, particularly in the slot. This has a good opportunity there from the Majors to get it going, our player to watch, Fenwick. But for the Junior Canadiens, they do have those superstars. They do have the guys where there's a couple minutes left in the game, you know they're coming out. You know Green is going to come out. You know Cash Kawaja is going to come out. And you know Cantanella will come out as well. So it will be interesting to see how the Majors stifle that offense, because those guys were the lifeblood of the Canadiens' offense.
A good forecheck from the Majors in the defensive zone of the Canadiens. However, the Canadiens are able to get that out only for a moment, though, as that is picked up by Cross and sent right back down the net of JC. And those the Canadiens yet again picking up around their net. A nice move there to get around the defender. Nice head pass up along the far side. That's Wang going to chase after it behind the net, but he's met by 3 Majors defensemen. That's taken up by Perigine. He sends it across the length of the ice and gets it back. Sends it right down low. That pass is unable to connect with Carradine. And whistle will be called here. We do have a penalty on the play. This one looks like it is going to be assessed against the Majors here. And the Canadiens, they will get an early power play opportunity.
Yeah, that's Ronan Quinn headed to the box for the cross-check. He caught Ryder Muir, the player that had a lot of buzz around him in the quarterfinals recap. I mentioned probably 1,000 times, but I'll mention it again, that he started the season with the Toronto Red Wings. Now, we don't know exactly when he transferred, but at Six Hockey, we did present him as a Toronto Red Wing. He's a Junior Canadian, and he was the second star of that series.
That's Grima holding it at the top of the circle here, looking for a pass to O'Rourke. O'Rourke, he sends it, trying to center it, but goes back to Grima. Grima still stick killing on the near side. Sends to O'Rourke. O'Rourke, they switch spots. O'Rourke sends it back up to Grima. A conservative power play so far. Trying to find a pass. Shot through. That doesn't find anything and is rimmed around the far side boards. But the Canadiens are able to pick it right back up. Canadiens skating it in their own zone. Or sorry, in the offensive zone, I should say. And that pass does not find the stick of anyone nor Conan O'Neill, and that's rimmed around. And that's rimmed around deep into the Canadian zone as they are forced to regroup. A conservative-looking power play so far. A lot of passing, not a great shot opportunity through the first minute of this power play. And that's Champagne trying to send it in deep, and that's tipped down low as Cross goes to chase it for the Majors. A clearing attempt is thwarted at the blue line. A nice move there as the Canadiens rushing in. Pass does not find the shot. And that's taken up by Perugin. Perugin skating around, stick handling it through the zone. That finds Grima along that near side board. Slap pass to Quadja. Quadja, short side shot, does not find the net. I'm not too sure if O'Neill got a piece of it, but he was unable to find the back of the net. And Cade O'Rourke, his shot finds a stick and is up and out of play, as there's just about 25 seconds left to go on this power play.
Yeah, and the Junior Canadiens are known for a lethal power play. They move the puck so well against the boards, around the net. The way they cycle it is so effective in driving shots towards the net and driving opportunities in the front slot. That, again, is another lifeblood of their offense, just putting pucks towards the net on the power play. They're so skilled, so speedy, and they can find just the smallest openings.
And the Canadiens still maintain possession of the puck on this power play. Streaking down low are the Canadiens, trying to find a starting pass, but that's tipped and gathered by the Majors as we are back to 5-on-5 just halfway through this first period. A solid first penalty kill of the game for the Majors, not allowing the Canadiens any room in the center of the ice. Oh, it was a nice little blow-by hit there from the Majors as they're able to maintain the possession in the offensive zone. That's sent down by Craney. Majors looking for a centering pass option. And that's sent into the shin pads as the Canadiens go the other way. Craney is there to pick up the puck for the Majors. That top D pairing of Craney and Cabrari were vital in their victory over the Don Mills Flyers. Cabrari scoring in games 1 and 5 for the Majors in that one.
Yeah, and the Majors, this represents a good opportunity for them. You know, they just killed off a huge early power play. The Junior Canadiens weren't able to convert, and that can get the momentum going a little bit here.
It certainly can. Grima trying to center that pass, but finds nobody as that puck is turned over in the offensive zone only for a moment as Grima, he tries to hunt for it around the back of the net. That's Rico Champagne. He gets tied up. No call on the play. Canadiens maybe a little bit upset as it looked like a stick got in between the legs of Champagne. Shot from the point, saved by O'Neill, trying to find a tip in front where the Canadiens unable to do so, and that's sent down by Quadja. Rico Champagne, he tried to circle that around for his defenseman, but a 3-on-2 forming here for the Majors. That's Ryder Nobes trying to get a stick on it, but that will be called an offside.
Yeah, and the Majors, watch for them to employ some good transition offense. You know, we always talk about when teams don't have the majority of the puck possession, which we're likely to see against a team like the Canadiens that control the pace of play so well. They look to the fast break offense a little bit more. And, you know, the Majors, they don't hate that. They got some guys with excellent hands, great speed at bringing the puck up wide in the offensive zone. Guys like Ryder Nobes, who can just create something off the rush.
A bad defensive zone turnover leads to this chance. O'Rourke tries a backhand from the far side, and that's swallowed up by O'Neill. Cade O'Rourke, he's one of the better defensemen in this GTHL league. We've seen his skating ability already on full display, and that backhand attempt just exemplifying his skills in the offensive zone.
Yeah, it's worth arguing. He may be the number one defenseman of this Toronto Junior Canadiens team. He's so good on the power play, again, acting as an extension of the forwards, but he's just sound defensively as well. His stick handling, his speed is excellent for his age.
O'Rourke again with the shot on that, hit off the pad of O'Neill and sent into the corner. Majors having some difficulty exiting the zone as a nice forecheck from the Canadiens, pressuring the Majors in the offensive zone early, trying for a centering pass. That pass does not get through. A knuckle puck sent towards O'Neill, which is swallowed up. I think that may have hit off a skate or maybe a shaft of a stick. Either way, an interesting play. Conan O'Neill able to stay poised and cover that puck up for a face-off.
I'm excited to see how the line combos will transpire here with the Junior Canadian Series. One thing we've noticed is that they don't stick with what's working. They don't stick with, you know, the tired and true lines. They will jumble them up a lot in this game. Throughout this year, we've seen Grima play with Zinke. We've seen him play with Kawaja, with Cantanella. We've seen him play with a bunch of other forwards as well, with Wang. With both Wangs, in fact. And, you know, I'm excited to see how they're going to run that. And once the lines do tighten in crunch time, how they're going to respond in keeping the top 6.
That was a good attempt at a centering pass from Muir. Grima, his shot hits the pad of O'Neill, unable to cover it up. Trying for the rebound is Grima. He's met by a couple defensemen. A good defensive physical play from Brian Zhang of the Majors to not allow that wraparound attempt from Grima, as the Majors are finally able to get the puck out of the zone, perhaps only for a moment, as yes, that is sent in deep, but Lucas Craney, he picks up the puck as the junior Canadiens forwards change. Majors carrying it up the center of the ice. That was sent in by Cabrari. Forecheckers hustling into the zone. A centering pass. That finds the 6 of the Canadiens, and they turn the other way. Physical play from Cabrari. Champagne centering it for Quadja. His shot is trapped by the glove of O'Neill. Some transition offense employed by the Canadiens, and we were talking about how they're able to, both teams are able to employ that with their speed. A bad offensive zone turnover from the Majors, kind of sending the puck to the front of the net for 4 Canadiens leads to that chance.
I'll tell you, Simon, it looks great, the jersey tuck on Kawacha. Can never tell if it's him or Anthony Perugine. So I wouldn't even blame you if you call one or the other, because they're both talented and both a big factor on the junior Canadian teams, and both at times employ the jersey tuck just to spite us.
Oh, just to spite us, exactly. I do believe that looks more like an 8 than a 9. Either way, Canadiens rushing up, and that is Kawaja, number 8, trying to find the streaking forward. A penalty will be assessed to the Majors. I believe that will be either a trip or a hold assessed on number 2, Lucas Craney of the Majors, as the Canadiens will go back to the power play.
Yeah, and for the junior Canadiens, now is the time, right? You've had a couple fast break chances. I mentioned how the Majors would be employing that. It's Carter Cross heading to the box, by the way. But I mentioned how the Majors, they'll be running that, but the junior Canadiens, they have speed too. So 2 early chances for them on the power play. This is big. They've got to control possession, and you got to think that if you're their coach right now, you're pushing for the goal.
Quadja with a rip shot. My goodness. A nice pass from O'Rourke. What a shot. Some old school hockey there from Cash Kawaja, letting one go at the top of the circle. Swallowed up by Cohen O'Neill right in the chest.
Do you think the Kawaja parents just said, hey, let's give our kids the best names ever?
I think they may have.
You got Cash Kawaja, already a great name, and then his older brother Jet Kawaja, which all-time athlete name. So it's just really a testament to how good they are. They said, okay, we have the coolest names ever. We better be a standard, amazing hockey player in the GTHL, and they've both done that in their careers so far.
They certainly have. Majors pressuring a bit more, being a bit more aggressive on this penalty kill, but the Canadiens still able to break in as they wrap it around the back of the net, trying to get set up. That's Champagne. He finds Quadja along the far side, passes to Grima, up to O'Rourke. O'Rourke back to Grima. Grima looking for a shot, but gives it back to O'Rourke. Quadja, he lets one go. That hits the pads of O'Neill, unable to be cleared by the Majors as Grima. He tries to find Quadja on the far side of the net. Does not find his stick, but O'Rourke is able to pick that before it leaves the zone. O'Rourke, he fans on the shot, and that will give Makuka a chance to clear the puck the length of the ice as a tired penalty-killing group gets a change over a minute into this power play.
Yeah, you'll see the Cattering unit come on now. He's been the PP2 guy for the junior Canadiens, often one of the puck carries into the zone. But that was a good chance for the junior Canadiens. A couple collisions there. I like the way that they're using the back post and trying to drive pucks towards the net. You saw it was Grima throwing it for Kawaja. If he had just kept that one on the ice, we could be looking at a 1-0 game.
That's exactly right, Sammy. Maybe hits a stick along the way, but either way, this game remains scoreless. 20 seconds left to go on the second power play of the game for the Canadiens. As the Majors, they're doing a much better job asserting their aggressiveness on this penalty kill. Since that clearing attempt, Canadiens have not been able to enter the zone, and as soon as I say that, they do, of course. That's taken by the Canadiens around that far side corner. Wrapped around and sent up and out of play. There will be a face-off coming. Actually, excuse me, I believe that was shot along that far side corner into the pads of O'Neill. Either way, a face-off upcoming.
Yeah, and I just want to mention how good of a forecheck that was, shorthanded from Daisy Dupuis. He got into the zone, got it off his man, tipped it back into the neutral zone, and gave the Majors a chance to regroup with not that much time left in the penalty kill. Dupuis, who we previously have connected to a player like Giroux. Look out for him this series. He's always finding a way to make the right play and score goals to boot.
Back to even strength now. Just 2.5 minutes left to go in this first period. Some chances both ways. Seems like the Canadiens are, leading in the puck possession battle of the game so far, but still this game remains scoreless. After 2 power plays for the Canadiens, you would think the next one's come in the way of the Majors.
Yeah, you don't like to assume game management, but that's generally how it goes. I mean, we did kind of bite our tongue there when we saw the first game of the semifinals between the Vaughan Kings and the Toronto Marlboros, where we said, okay, next one's got to be Marlboros, and then it was against Vaughan.
As a 2-on-1 may be forming here, a great defensive play from number 91 Carter Cross to thwart that pass attempt. Majors doing a great job not allowing the Canadiens to employ those cross-ice passes that they like to use, all the time to generate a lot of their scoring chances. As that top line for the Canadiens, they're back out there, but that is sent down the length of the ice. Will it have enough for icing? It will not. It is picked up by the hash marks by the Canadiens as they look to regroup in their own zone. 1.5 minutes to go in this first period. Canadiens maintaining the puck around their net, letting the Majors change. That's Wang forechecking for the Majors. Nice move there to get past the defender. That pass intended for Quadja hits his skate and is sent and picked up by the Majors. That's Wang. He gets hit along the boards. Makuka going to chase after it, but that is picked up by Quadja and the Canadiens. Quadja, nice move yet again to get around Makuka. Centering pass for Champagne. Shot on. That's saved by O'Neill. Puck still in the air. He's unable to cover it. And the Canadiens, they have it at the point. Shot on, looking for the tip in front. Unable to find one there. But the puck does remain in the zone. 1 minute to go here in the power play. In the period. And the Majors, they are forechecking in the zone, trying to find any type of offensive possession here as they've been unable to do so for the entirety of the first period. No a real chance for them. I don't think Zidane JC has even seen a good shot on so far.
Certainly not to the same extent that Cohen O'Neill has seen. He might have seen a weak couple chances, but it has been all towards the zone of the Majors.
And the Canadiens looking to pressure again. That's another shot. A little Danny Heatley action from the corner, covered up by O'Neill as some extracurriculars taking place in front of the net. This game does not have the intensity in terms of the physicality that Marlboro's Kings game had. What a game that was.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know that I'd say the intensity. I'd just say more the physicality. You're right. Mm-hmm. Like, it has had the makings of a good game so far. We've seen a lot of back and forth action in terms of which teams are making the smart plays, but that's the key word right there, smart plays, both teams staying relatively disciplined in comparison.
Brand Grima shot from the top of the circle. It's covered up by O'Neill yet again. I'm not going to lie, Sammy. I think the Majors may have gotten away with the penalty kill there. With the penalty there. That face-off, it looked like Grima got tripped up. Pretty nasty.
Well, I'll tell you, Simon, it's going to have to be something pretty egregious within the next period for something to be called. Because 2 early power plays,
exactly.
Being doled towards the junior Canadiens, it's going to have to be something irrefutable for the Majors to go back to the box.
That's exactly right. And that puck is sent down the length of the ice. That will probably be enough, not an icing, and will be enough for this first period to come to a close. Still 0-0 heading to the second.
If you're the Majors, I think you should be happy with that period. If the junior Canadiens, I think they know that they're the team to beat in this division. They had the best record in the league. They just steamrolled the Rebels. I mean, the Rebels played well as well as they could, but the junior Canadiens are just so talented from top to bottom. The Majors, going on the penalty kill twice in the first game, doing a great job at making sure that there were no grade AA chances. I honestly think the best opportunity was that pass from Grima to Kawaja down low, and it didn't really connect. So for the Markham Majors, keep doing what they're doing. Maybe they can get a chance on the power play and put a surprise to the junior Canadiens here.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. Going into the second period tied, I think, like you said, Sam, if you're the Majors, you spend most of that period in your defensive zone. Cohen O'Neill making some good saves. Again, not necessarily the 10 bell saves that we might see from other goalies in this league or in other games, but he's made the saves he has to, and that's resulted in this game still being tied.
That's right, and it's worth mentioning, Simon. I mentioned it in the quarterfinal recaps, but we've seen him out there a couple times. Hasn't gotten too involved in the offense. Callum Mason, he played for the Reps earlier this year, just like Ryder Muir. He did transfer mid-season. Again, we do not know when, but he has been a force on this Canadiens offense. Not so much on the top six, but providing solid minutes for the Junior Canadiens in this one. So the Junior Canadiens, they kind of started with a solid lineup and improved it midway through the season. So it's no wonder why they've been so dominant.
That's Zinke out there with Muir. This referee calling calling back the faceoff twice in a row.
Yeah, that's
And
the
they
third
did it.
this
They did
game.
it. Yeah, exactly. They did it on in the offensive zone too. Drop the puck stripes. My goodness.
Way to make it about yourself.
Honestly, this one is dropped and does stand as the Majors. They take that one into the ice. That's our player to watch, Joseph Fenwick, on the forecheck. He had a great series against the Don Mills Flyers, earning himself the second star of the series by the Six Hockey. And that is, oh my goodness, what a hit onto Braden Grima. Oh my God. What a clean, nasty hit. I hope Grima's okay, as I believe he just skated off the ice. Yes, he did. My goodness. And the Majors, maybe a rally cry there to start the second period. That puck is stripped off of the Majors and taken by the Canadiens in the neutral zone. A puck battle. Who has it? It is the Majors, and they, unfortunately for them, pass it right back to Perigine and the Canadiens. Majors, they're looking to make something happen. That's Samick. He bobbles it at the blue line, and that's Carter Cross picking it up and dumping it in for the Majors. The Majors, they will change their line. Ronan Quinn, yet another great line here of Walsh, Quinn, and Ryder Nobes. Nobes going to chase after the puck in the corner. Quinn joins him. 2-on-2 puck battle here. Leaks out for Walsh. Rebound. Ryder Nobes scores. Potts in the rebound. And the Majors, they take the 1-0 advantage early in the second period.
And Simon, just a classic hockey goal right there. You know how many times the best teams in the leagues have just had the best forecheck? And right there, it was number 17, Ronan Quinn, jumping in on the near side boards alongside Ryder Nobes. They got the puck, threw it on net towards the far pad, so can't do much about that if you are JC. Pops out to Nobes, and you know Nobes, he won't make Nobes won't make no mistake. Try saying that one 10 times fast. But another example of how forecheck can get you so many further opportunities in the offensive zone.
That's exactly right, same as the Majors. They're looking to streak in yet again. Majors player goes down. No call on the play. Looks like he may have just tripped over the red line. As the Canadiens, that's Wortman taking it up the sidewall. Physical play there from Carter Cross as he is forced to dump it in, but the Canadiens are able to pick it up. Canadiens cycling it along that far side corner. Majors trying to rip the puck off their stick. Some physicality from the Majors early in the second period already on display. But the Canadiens, they still maintain possession. That's pass up to Ross. Ross to Grima. Streaking in. Shot. Scores! Cade O'Rourke rips one past Cohen O'Neill just a minute or so after the Majors take a 1-0 advantage. Cade O'Rourke and the Canadiens make it 1-1.
And, I mean, you can't get a better response than that if you're the Toronto Junior Canadiens. The Majors, you almost felt like they earned that first goal. The Junior Canadiens, they did have most of the puck possession. But the Canadiens, they jump right back in it. They jump right back to offense. They didn't let themselves get frazzled. And we've seen that in this playoffs before. The Rebels scoring the first goal of Game 3. And the Round Rock, Texas native in Cade O'Rourke, don't mess with Texas. He jumps in. He's got a great shot. And we've seen that so many times this season. If you give him space, he can absolutely wire it.
We were talking about how gifted he is in the offensive zone. Talents on full display there from Cade O'Rourke as he ties this game for the Canadiens. Canadiens having some trouble exiting their zone. A good forecheck from the Majors. It seemed like halfway through that first period, the Majors kind of flicked a switch and really upped their forechecking after their second penalty kill. They've been on the puck the entire time the Canadiens have had it. As that's a pass from Mason. He finds the forward there, splitting the defense, unable to get through to the nets were the Canadiens. Cross-check there in the corner. No call on the play. Lucky break for the Canadiens. apologies, I can't see whose number that is because of the jersey tuck, probably Cash Quadja. As we know, he does like to tuck the jersey, but I don't want to make any assumptions as that is sent down the length of the ice for an icing.
Yeah, and it's nice to see. Now we see Konstantinos Huseas, all-time name, coming on for the Markham Majors. You've talked previously, actually, in our last YouTube video about how he's one of your favorite players to watch. I really like watching him as well. He's so speedy. He can move the puck really well, and he's got great hands. So, again, not our player to watch in this one necessarily, but a player we're always watching.
Oh, that's exactly right. I mean, for his size, he's not the fastest skater, but you're right, Sammy. For his size, he has unbelievably nice hands, and he has a great shot from the point as well. He scored the game-winning goal, 1-0 with 10.6 seconds left to go, and I believe that was Game 3 against the Don Mills Flyers. What a moment that was. But the Canadiens here breaking it into the zone. That pass is unable to find the stick of Grima. Grima back out on the ice after taking that monstrous hit from, I believe that was Carter Cross of the Majors to open that second period. To open this second period, Majors breaking through the other way, and that was, I believe, Fenwick trying to break into the zone, but he goes into the zone before the puck. Offside is called. Some nice defense from the Canadiens to play the body before the puck.
Yeah, that's what they teach you in like day one of hockey school as a defenseman. I started as a defenseman and then I was awful, so they switched me to forward. But the hinge at the blue line, it forces the player to make a move, forces to put himself offside. You get yourself a whistle and a breather.
Quinn, he sends that one deep as Dupuis goes to chase after it. Dupuis, Nobes, and Quinn out there for the Majors. A top-heavy line there. No offside, says the official as the Canadiens, they move in. Zinke, he's alongside the far side wall. That puck is not able to get to him. Majors forechecking in their own zone. Big puck battle, but the Canadiens are able to get that. That's O'Rourke, the goal scorer. He sends it across to Ross. Sends it across to Ross. As O'Rourke, he gathers it back up at the point. Shot there. It finds a shin pad, but leaks out to Ross. Ross looking for a tip in front. Hits a body and sent to the corner. Shot there from Zinke. Swallowed up by O'Neill. Canadiens, although they let up the first goal, they're not taking their foot off the gas pedal. A couple opportunities there for them, but the Majors, give them credit. Majors doing a fantastic job at holding the Canadiens to the far side wall, not allowing them to really make any of their grade A scoring chances come to fruition.
Yeah, and if you're a goaltender, you love that, you know. At that point, it's your team telling you, we got you, we can support you, make the saves you need to make. And that's what you want as a goaltender. You don't want to be left out to dry. You want to be put in a position where you can succeed.
Oh my goodness, Cash Quadja, what a move. Trying to escape past 3 defensemen, got by 2 of them, but knocked down by the final one. What a disgusting move from Cash Quadja, but Fenwick, he's an incredibly fast skater. Nice reverse hit there from Fenwick, although the Canadiens are able to pick the puck up and head the other way. That was Mason head-manning his winger. Junior Canadiens gathering the puck in the offensive zone yet again, but that is sent away by the Majors. Puck is hit off the stick of them and sent right back down to Kate O'Rourke and the Canadiens. That's Walsh. He's forechecking for them. I should say Madden Walsh. He was the guy who originally shot that puck on the net of JC that led to the Nobes rebound. He's already made an impact in this game. Looking to do more for his team, obviously. A 2-on-1 forming here for the Majors. Trying to find a centering pass. Great defensive play to lay down the body, take away that pass opportunity by the Canadiens as they streak up the wall. That's Quadja yet again. Puck on the backhand, trying to force it through to O'Neill, unable to do so. A good defensive play from the Majors, able to break up that opportunity. That is not kept in and will be called an offside. A tough break for the Canadiens as they are forced to reset.
Quadja's so good at hockey. Like, I know that's such a lukewarm take, but he's just so speedy. The way he took it wide there, the way he drove it wide to get the little flick opportunity. Guys that can create their own offense like that are so valuable on any team.
Grima, nice move on the faceoff to get through the offensive zone. However, he does lose the puck. Trying to reclaim it are the Canadiens, and Grima, they're unable to do so as that's picked up by Carter Cross of the Majors, trying to break out Quinn. Sending it to center ice for his teammates. Nobes goes to chase after the puck in the offensive zone. Nobes, he's entangled with a couple Canadian defensemen all over him. That's sent out, but Cabrera, he's able to pick it up in the neutral zone. Pass goes awry and finds the stick of Vortman, who sends it deep. Canadiens going to chase after the puck. That's Muir keeping it in for the Canadiens, however, only for a moment. As that puck finds the stick of the Majors, Walsh, toe drag, great defensive play from the Canadiens. Just kind of sat down on the puck. I believe that was Perigin who made that play. I'm not too sure if he even knew what he was doing, but it worked out for the Canadiens anyway. Shot there from the circle by the Canadiens. Saved by Cohen O'Neill and sent to the far side corner. Breakaway there, Daisy Dupuis. How did that pass get through? That puck will not go in. Was trying to find the 5-hole was Daisy Dupuis, but ladies and gentlemen, we have a penalty shot for Daisy Dupuis. Buckle up. When was the last time you saw a penalty shot in the playoffs?
Oh, it's been so long. I love penalty shots. I also love when the referee goes to do the signal. That's his moment. We said the refs, they make it about themselves. That time it is. It is about yourself. Enjoy that moment because you don't get to call penalty shots very often.
No, you certainly do not. Daisy Dupuis, we've talked about him earlier in this game already and how much of an impact he has on this Majors team. Looking to give the Majors a lead. He drifts in slowly. Daisy Dupuis holds. Deeks, my goodness, what a goal from Daisy Dupuis. Almost Patrick Kane-esque, if I may. Stops kind of right in front of JC. 1 move, 2 move, 3 move, goal. 2-1 Majors.
Daisy beats JC with the beautiful hands. And again, it's all about the Majors creating their own offense on the fast break. Dupuis, he leaked out a little bit early, cheated just a little bit, found the open space, drifted towards the net, and all the Canadiens could do was take him down, really. That was the only chance to stop the breakaway. And then Dupuis, a penalty shot against the best team in the league, game 1, and he finds it. That is the kind of clutch player every team loves to have, and that's what we've been seeing. I mean, from Daisy Dupuis all season long, he is such an X factor for the Markham Majors.
He certainly is. The Canadiens are trying to respond in a big way here, though. Down by 1 halfway through the second period. I'm sure not where they expected to be in this game, but it's where they find themselves nonetheless. Majors looking to break it out of their own zone. Physical play there is able to hit number 12, Daisy Dupuis, the goal scorer, off the puck as he goes for a change. Canadiens looking to break in. They have it at the neutral zone. However, there are 4 defensemen already back for the Majors as they're able to break up that pass attempt. Sent down the length of the ice. Will that have enough for an icing call? I believe it will, as that is called an icing, and we are going to have an offensive zone faceoff for the Canadiens upcoming.
And the Canadiens, I mean, it sounds pretty simple, but they got to do exactly what they did before. They have to just focus on offense here. Don't get frazzled. It's a penalty shot goal. Go give JC a tap. I mean, what's he supposed to do? It's a penalty shot. Goalies aren't supposed to stop those. And just keep doing what you've been doing. You know, we saw how they responded. They just kept up the forecheck a little bit harder, and that's exactly what they need to do here because the Majors, when they're leading, are such a dangerous team because they don't take their foot off the gas.
No, they certainly don't. I believe the Majors, one of their best strengths is not only their forechecking ability, but also their backchecking, just how aggressive they are. And they're able to park the bus very well. They play a very smart defensive game, especially when they're leading. Halfway through the second period, if they're able to add 1 or 2 more goals, the Canadiens are in trouble of going down 1-0 in this series. That will be an icing as well. Looks like the Canadian skater was actually going to beat that puck before any defenseman, but the no-touch icing sends this one back down to the zone of JC.
I hate no-touch icing. I know I said it before, but it's just such an annoying one to have called against you. You know, when you are the last man back, you're almost there, and they're like, okay, well, you tried, but not hard enough. It's a big blow, and for the Markham Majors, they can keep taking those. They'll be fine with the Canadiens continuing to ice the puck.
Canadiens are able to win that faceoff as they send it back towards their defenseman, Perigin, trying to work it around the net. And it's sent up along the far side wall. Yet again, Majors forechecking the Canadiens in their own zone, but they are able to get it out of the zone only for a moment, though, as that pass is tipped back in by Ryder Nobes. And that will be a penalty assessed towards the Canadian. Ryder Nobes was taken down by the Canadiens, and the Majors are going on the power play for the first time this game.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about how it just seemed like it was a matter of time for the Majors to get their first one. And to be on the penalty deficit, to be leading, they're in a great spot here. You know, a big power play. They could create a 2-goal lead, and right now, the majors, they've just been playing phenomenal. You know, we talked about how smart they've been. Actually, I won't give myself credit. You talked about how smart of a game the majors played and in the quarterfinals, and they've been doing that so far throughout this game.
I guess something to worth note is something that is worth noting. I'm sure is more grammatically correct.
A more human way to say it.
A more human way to say, yeah. We talk about how they're able to park the bus when they have the lead and maybe not take the most chances in the whole world. Colton Cabrari and Konstantinos Huseas, 2 defensemen out there on the power play for the majors. Obviously, both of them very offensively gifted, but either way, majors not trying to let the Canadiens get an ounce of momentum on the penalty kill, because Cabrari, he tries to break his way in, unable to do so. As the majors, some miscommunication there leads to this chance from the Canadiens. That's Grima. Oh my goodness, what a save from Cohen O'Neill. Oh, what a pad stop, Braden Grima. Excuse me, that was Zinke, number 93. Wow, what a save from Cohen O'Neill as the majors looking to respond. JC, he stops that puck that was bashed in front of him, and that's picked up by Nobes in the corner. I can't believe that Cohen O'Neill was able to save that. He looked dead to rights there. Huseas, he finds Nobes. Nobes trying to center it. Unable to find anyone as Huseas. He works around the back of the net. Picked up by the majors there. Canadiens are still forechecking. That's Cabrari up at the point. He sends it down for Nobes. Centering pass finds Schiavo. He does not find anyone. Nobes finds Huseas. Huseas shot. Scores! Konstantinos Huseas. And just when you thought the Canadiens were going to tie this game up, Konstantinos Huseas puts the majors up by 2, knocking JC's water bottle over at that.
Cohen O'Neill might be the GOAT. I mean, that was incredible. A long breakaway for Jackson Zinke. And like we said, Zinke, he is a top forward for this junior Canadiens team. Cohen O'Neill with the incredible save to get a piece of it. Jumps around the corner on the penalty. And wow, switching the goalies like it's JC's fault at all. Not really. But wow, that was an amazing save from Cohen O'Neill. And just a beautiful shot from Konstantinos Huseas. I mean, again, have a more Greek name. What a shot from the slot that was. Pops the water bottle. And wow, the Markham Majors, just top to bottom, are playing fantastic right now against a strong junior Canadiens team.
There are indeed 4 minutes and 20 seconds left to go, or just below that now, in the second period. Huseas giving his team the 2-goal advantage on the power play. Misic, he is now in net, opposed to Zidane JC. I'm not too sure if I love that call. Maybe that third goal you can make an argument that he would like to have back, but that was one hell of a shot that found the top bins.
Through traffic as well.
Through traffic.
I mean, I don't really blame JC for any. I mean, one of them was a penalty shot, for gosh sakes. I mean, what are you supposed to do when one's on the penalty, one is on a penalty shot, and the other one was just a great opportunity off the rebound. I mean, he made the first save, and a wide open, Ryder Nobes there to collect. I think it's more of a, you know what? The junior Canadiens, they're not playing in front of you right now. You got to give him a chance to win the game, just like the Markham Majors are doing, and they're not doing that.
That's exactly right, Sammy. That shot from Quadja finds the boards, as Cohen O'Neill wasn't even tested on that one, although he was ready. Majors streaking the other way. That puck is stripped. Nice play there from the Canadiens to break up that rush attempt there. As the Canadiens, they're trying to break out. That's O'Rourke over to Ross. Ross skating through traffic, taking it himself. Going around the back of the net. That's O'Rourke taking it around the back of the net himself. Trying to cycle it in the corner, but he gathers it yet again and sends it up to Ross. Ross looking for the puck. It's behind him as he sends it to O'Rourke. He gets it back, though, and sends it down low. Canadiens looking for that centering pass as they have all game. And so far, they have been unable to do so. O'Rourke, he's able to keep that puck in. Only for a moment, though, but that's picked up by Ross, who sends it right back down deep. As this line of Kov Long and Braden Grima, they go to chase, but the Majors able to pick that up near the point. Are they able to get it out? That's Dupuis entangled in the puck battle with Quadja. Quadja wins that one for a moment, but Dupuis able to get that puck free. As here come the Majors yet again, centering pass it there for Nobes. Unable to corral it was Ryder Nobes. That would have been a fantastic chance to go up 3 late in this second period. But the Canadiens, they have an attempt now. That pass intended for Grima does not find him. Grima trying to stick handle it at the top of the zone. He gathers that puck back, looking for the pass in the slot. Majors again, 2 defensemen there, able to break that one up as they look for a breakout. Canadiens, they do maintain possession near that blue line, but the Majors, they knock the puck away and move the other way. That's Makuka looking for a centering pass, and I'm not too sure what happened there. That looked like number 88, Schiavo, with the wrist, like a nice little half slap, half wrist shot in the slot. A good first test for Micic.
That's right, and Micic, he makes that one look easy, but you can see why the Majors generate so many offensive chances. You saw Ronan Quinn as well as Nobes on that shift both leave the zone very early. They're putting a lot of trust in their D-men to get that long stretch pass out, and it's been working so far. We saw them both across towards the red line, even before the puck was out of their zone. So really taking those long stretch passes as a bold strategy, and it's very much been working in this game.
And there goes the Canadiens yet again trying to find the slot chance, unable to do so as some sticks from the Majors able to break up there. Zoo, he passed it alongside to his D partner, sending that one through, trying to find a tip, but that finds a shin pad in the Majors' turn and head north. Schiavo trying to dump it in. That puck is sent way up, and Makuka is there for the Majors to bat that down. But that's Ross sending it right across to his D partner. A nice pass. Oh, my goodness, what a chance that would have been for the Canadiens and Caterin if they were able to get that pass through cleanly. Half a minute to go here in the first period. Chance here for Dupuis. Good defensive play there from O'Rourke to knock him off the puck. Yet again, Canadiens playing the body, not the puck. Exactly what you're supposed to do. Grima. He tries to flip that one deep, but that is called offside. Looked like Rico Champagne. Number 91, Kov Long got a little bit too antsy there.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised to see, the junior Canadiens, they're panicking a little bit. They're down 2. It's, of course, nowhere close to being over, especially for a team like the junior Canadiens. But they're down 2 in a game that they probably think that they can win, and they absolutely can. They haven't faced a lot of adversity so far this playoff, so I think it is impacting them a little bit. We've seen a couple passes misconnect and a couple offsides being jumped, and so they need to find a way in this next intermission to collect themselves and remind themselves it's a long series regardless, but they're nowhere near out of this game.
No, not at all. Is Quadja. He lines up to take that face-off. He tries to win it to his winger, Carradine, but taken by the Majors, and that will conclude the second period. Majors up by 2 heading into the third period. 3 goals for the Majors that period. Can you remember the last time the Canadiens gave up 3 goals, not only in a game, but in a single period?
I actually can't, Simon. The junior Canadiens, again, we haven't called every single one of their games, but they didn't lose too many, right? So we know that 3 goals is not something that they allow, especially in bunches. They're a team that scores in bunches, if anything. So maybe a little bit of unfamiliar territory for this team. But like I said, if any team can respond, it is the junior Canadiens.
Walsh, he wins that back in Craney. He tries to get it back to Walsh. The Majors, they send it down deep. Quinn is forechecking for them, but the Canadiens able to get that puck and head the other way. Quadja unable to corral that pass cleanly. That's Quadja and Champagne forechecking for the Canadiens. They back off just a little bit and allow Cabrari to take it up through the zone, but that's taken by O'Rourke. O'Rourke, he finds Quadja. Some puck battles here early to start the period. O'Rourke, yet again, finding the winger, and they send it right down deep. But yet again, the Majors not allowing them to do so as that goes off the body of Walsh. And yet, finally, Cade O'Rourke, he sends that one deep down low as both teams go for an early change. You would expect in a game that's been as fast as this third period, we'll see a lot of quick changes and some high-intensity moments, some high-intensity spurts from either side here. As Fenwick, he goes to forecheck for the Majors. He's able to get that puck, but is met by 3 defensemen of the Canadiens, and they take it around their net. Canadiens, yet again, maybe some nervous energy to start this third period, being down 2, finding yourself in some unfamiliar territory. And that was Long trying to tip that one through, unable to do so, and is sent right back down to the Canadian zone and dumped in yet again, but he did not get to the red line, says the referee, and that's going all the way down for an icing. Unfortunate call for Alex Zhu and the Junior Canadiens.
Oof, when it rains, it pours. I mean, I know they're just starting this period, but that is just the worst when that happens. When you think you got it by, when you think you crossed the line, and you didn't. So the Majors, they are in a good spot here. I mean, if I'm them, I'm going to keep pushing, just keep doing what they've been doing because it's been working against the Junior Canadiens. No real grade A opportunities for the Junior Canadiens in this game. The one shot coming off of Cato O'Rourke, he found that space himself. It wasn't really handed to him, so the Markham Majors just keep closing out those opportunities, closing those lanes, and they'll be in a dangerous spot.
Makuka, Wang, and Schiavo out there for the Majors right now. This third line of the Majors has been very effective so far this game. And the Majors, they are able to shut down that attempt. Muir was chasing after it for the Canadiens, but he was unable to find it. And that's dumped down low, as now this top line of Nobes, Walsh, and Quinn back out there for the Majors. That's Nobes going to chase after it. Canadiens looking to break it out of their zone. That pass, trying to find Champagne, is stripped off by Walsh. He's trying to put it through. Wraparound attempt here. Oh my goodness, Cabrari. What a slap shot from the point. A great save by Misic. I couldn't even see where that puck was. A fantastic strip by Manon Walsh, finding a one-timer from Colton Cabrari. And Misic has to make a great save to keep this game within 2. Offensive zone faceoff here for the Majors. They have some momentum. Obviously, those 3 goals, but also a couple good attempts here early in the third period. O'Rourke, he takes it around. I know this is more or less my phrase in this one, but O'Rourke has skidded miles already tonight.
Ugh.
I know you hate that. I feel like he's been on the ice for half this game, though.
He has been on the ice for quite some time.
Oh, a centering pass here for Quadra. Quadra trying to go blocker side on O'Neill, but he's able to save that. The rebound does not get through to him. But the Canadiens, they're pressuring. That's Grima out there with Quadra and Champagne. They're loading up gear to start the third period are the Canadiens. However, that pass to Nobes, knocked down by the Canadiens. That, again, may have been a breakaway chance for Ryder Nobes if that pass got through cleanly. Canadiens regrouping in their own zone. Going for a change are they. Vortman, he is the forechecker for the Canadiens, but the Majors, they are all over him. It looks like that, apologies for the camera angle there, folks. That actually looks like that may have been sent onto the net of Cohen O'Neill, and he will cover it up for an offensive zone faceoff for the Canadiens.
And O'Neill, I mean, he hasn't really faced any action, serious action since that breakaway from Zinke in the second period. So good job for him to kind of settle himself back in this game because this is going to be a long period of the Junior Canadiens throwing everything they got onto O'Neill. We find that in this league, the more desperate a team gets, the more they have an incentive just to fire pucks on net. And in the playoffs, those are the goals that pop in, off the rebound, deflections, the ones where they aren't the prettiest, but they get the job done.
Number 83, Jack Samick, jumping up to start this third period to play with Dupuis and Fenwick. Coach having some trust in him. Centering pass slot. Oh my goodness, what a chance from the Canadiens. That backhand attempt from Caterin misses the net. That may have been the best chance since their first goal. He was unable to find that as Zhu. He does not get all on that shot, as he did not get as much, I'm sure, as he wanted to on that one there. Trying to send that away was Brian Zhang. However, the Canadiens, they do pick it up at the blue line and sent on to the net of O'Neill. Man, Alex Zhu has not had the best start to this third period. He was charged with that icing call. He thought that made the line, and that slap shot attempt, yet again, not finding his stick cleanly.
No, but Alex Zhu, he can turn it around. He's a fantastic player. He scored a great goal in the series against the Rebels where he jumped in across the blue line. He passed it over to Wang. Wang got it back to him, and he had a nice little move to pop it over the blocker of the Rebels goalie at the time. And, I mean, he is one of those players that can just turn it on in any moment. So for him, I mean, we're always rooting for good offense. I'm rooting for his comeback here.
Makuka, he sends that one deep, but that is hit by Misic and sent out of play. Yes, it was. Misic, he kind of looked like he sticked or blockered that out of play. Something I just want to mention very quickly, Makuka, in the first game of the year against the Don Mills Flyers, he was a winger, and he's made quite the transition into a centerman here. His two-way play has really caught the notice and attention of his coaches, and I think, whenever you can transition a winger to a centerman, you do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is a big jump to take. Just on the faceoffs alone, the positional play, I find that's the easiest thing for the wingers to kind of adjust to. You're just playing a little bit more of a, and this is going to sound dumb, but a central role, obviously, in the middle of the ice. You're being a bit more of a facilitator at times. But, I mean, the faceoffs, they're not an easy thing to adjust to, especially when you're playing guys who have taken faceoffs for their whole lives. It doesn't matter if you are more skilled than a player. The best thing with faceoffs is practice makes perfect.
I do wonder what the referees are talking about here. As you see the two officials, they're going to talk to the Majors bench. If I had to wager a guess, I would say Makuka dumped that puck in, and I do believe that hit the stick of Misic, and it looked like he almost intentionally flicked it up mid-air. I wonder if the Majors are trying to get out of play delay of game call, as that did hit the stick of Misic.
That would be a pretty surprising call, to be honest. If it was a player, it's one thing. But as a goaltender, you can't really be responsible for the way your body reacts if a puck is flung towards you. But this is a lengthy conversation. Maybe the Canadiens were trying to make the argument that it should be outside. The referees are having a discussion here, and it does look like the Majors are going back into their own zone. Pardon me. Yeah, going back into their own zone. This is a bit of a confusing time to be a commentator without audio.
Yeah, we do these games all without audio. We should just hand out microphones to referees at Scotiabank Palm. We should have a big bin of them and say, hey, take one, and make our lives a lot easier.
I'm going to go ahead and admit I had no idea what you're saying, but I'm really confused by what's going on. We just saw a line change here. There is 5 players on for each team. That's the first thing we want to check here.
Yeah, I was going to say there's no penalties here. Looks like, yeah, I'm not too sure what happened. Either way, that Nobes line is back out for the Majors. Some time to take a breath, and that top line is back out. Ryder Nobes, he's been all over this game. Obviously scoring that first one for the Majors, and then assisting, getting the primary on the Huseas power play goal. Walsh in the slot, that misses wide, trying to go glove side on Misic, but that hits the boards. Great chance for Walsh, and a bad turnover from the Canadiens. That shot is blocked and sent to the corner. As the Canadiens breaking out into their own zone, that's again broken up by Madden Walsh. As the Majors, they reclaim it at the blue line. And that shot on by Nobes, but it's sent right into the glove of Misic. Majors doing a fantastic job intercepting these passes, lifting in sticks, poke checking like madmen, and just making this game impossible for the Canadiens to gather any type of momentum.
And I mean, we've said it a million times throughout the season, but at times the best defense is a good offense, and they're showing that through the forecheck, through the tendency to just push for the faceoffs, Put the puck on net, let Misic cover it, repeat, get your fresh legs on, and I can imagine that the Majors, they're going to keep what's it called, the hotel thing that moves, a revolving door of lines, pardon me, to try to get as many fresh legs on as possible. Whereas the junior Canadiens, they're probably going to start tightening. They're going to try to get their best offensive weapons on. And so I think that's what the Majors need to do. They just need to outwork the Canadiens.
10 minutes left to go here in the third period, and thus there in this game. Certainly not over. However, if the Canadiens want any chance to come back, they must start gathering some momentum on their side soon. As the Majors making it very hard for them to do so. That was dumped in by Walsh. Fenwick going to chase after the puck, but the Canadiens able to break it out of their zone. Only for a moment, though, as that sent in deep. Excuse me, that was Jack Samick, number 83, not Madden Walsh, there for the Majors. You see there, we talked about how the Majors able to park the bus. On that play, 4 skaters of the Majors in the neutral zone, with only Joseph Fenwick being the forechecker, as the Canadiens had it in their zone. Some defensive, game planning here. Now that we only have 10 minutes left to go. Great move there from the defenseman, Carter Cross, trying to send that for Samick. Unable to find him, as the Canadiens are able to break that up, as O'Rourke, he takes it along the near side wall. Again, apologies for these camera angles, folks. We only got the one automatic camera at the building right now. but I believe it is the Canadiens who are maintaining possession at the moment. And yet again, Majors, 4 skaters already in the neutral zone. Or almost in the neutral zone, I should say. Canadiens looking to break out. That pass does not find the stick of Muir and is picked up by the Majors yet again. That's Schiavo. He's streaking in. Backhand hits the pad of Misic. Leaks out. Zhang, his shot. Again, a fire drill in front. Again, hitting the pad of Misic. Brian Zhang with his best chance of the game, but does not find Twine. Canadiens streaking in now. Going around the net. Another short side chance. We've seen them employ that short side, trying to catch O'Neill off guard a few times in this game, and it has not worked thus far. That was sent in deep by Walsh. The Canadiens, they do collect it along that far side board area. Champagne, he collects it. He's small, but he is fast. Champagne streaking in, trying to center it out in front for Grima. Did not find him. Majors are able to get that one out. Will not be enough for icing as the Canadiens pick that up at the blue line, and that's sent to Perigine. Perigine trying to find Kwadja. That's picked up by Craney. Craney, he's being pressured by Kwadja, but is able to find his D partner. Huseas, he slaps it way down and deep. That does find Misic, actually. That even caught me off guard, and he's able to cover that one up, but there will be another face-off here.
Precisely the game plan there from Huseas. Fired on net, get the whistle, get the change. It's just a textbook play there from Konstantinos, and I mean, we've seen how he's been so strong. The good thing about the Majors, I mean, we talked about, Cabrari and Craney, them being a top pairing for this team, but Huseas is also a top defenseman for this team. There's no one really that stands out as I don't want to say weaker player, because there's no weak players in the GTHL AAA in the U16 division, but they are just such a solid team with so many reliable guys, and we've seen it on full display.
That's long. His shot goes wide. Maybe that hit the skate or pad of O'Neill, but either way does not find the back of the net as O'Rourke. He finds Ross. Ross shot from the top of the circle. That hits a shin guard and is sent around the back of the net. Picked up by the Majors along that hash mark area. Sent all the way down the length of the ice. That will be called for an icing. More than halfway through this third period now. Under 7 minutes to go. And you got to think it's do or die time for the Canadiens soon, just based off the way that this Majors team has been playing defensively.
That's right. And I mean, they're down 2. They're going to be thinking about pulling them soon, and that's never what you want.
No.
When you're in the 6th minute
Yeah.
of a third period. But they have to. They're down 2. It's going to come soon if they do not capitalize.
That's Quinn chasing after the puck. 3 players for the Canadiens on him. Sends it around to Nobes, though. Nobes and Quinn down low battling. Nobes and Quinn were out there for the goal, the first goal of the game that broke the game open for the Majors. And that's sent by Champagne. Double shifting now are the Canadiens, as you see Grima, Champagne, and Kwadja. Those 3, I guess you could say, maybe their best forwards out there right after they got off. Only about 30 to 40 seconds on the bench for those 3, as that's picked up by the Canadiens around their own zone. Trying to find Champagne in the corner. Knocked down Kwadja with a nice hit there. However, that puck is sent behind the net of Misic yet again. This Majors team doing a fantastic job at hemming the Canadiens in their own zone. Like we said, some unfamiliar territory for them. O'Rourke, he flips that one down low, and that's picked up by Carter Cross. Taking it around the back of his net, trying to start a breakout. That's turned over at the blue line by Samek and Makuka. Some miscommunication there between them. However, they are able to send it right down low. Canadiens yet again looking for that stretch pass. And that is once again taken by the Majors. I feel like a bit of a broken record here at this point. 5 minutes left to go here in the third period, and the Majors showing just how they can be so incredibly annoying to play against. And that was Mason trying to streak in through the center of the ice, but that's picked up by the Majors as they go the other way. A chance here, shot on, and that goes wide. Samek unable to find the puck, but Zhang does. He does find Samek, who cycles it down low. Hits the post and goes around the far side wall. Craney, he meets the puck there as the puck is unable to get out for the Canadiens, but it is sent down the length of the ice. Will it be enough for an icing? Judging by the players' stance and skating effort. I believe it was.
And wow, I mean, the Majors, they've just controlled this period. They've done exactly what they needed to do. They clearly talked about it in the intermission. They talked about how important it would be just to keep the puck in the zone. But what I have noticed with this Markham Majors team, as soon as the junior Canadiens get possession in the zone and they start their rush, they know trying to go for a flyby isn't going to help. Dropping their D-men back and a forward back to not allow the zone transition inside the blue line of their own end is imperative, and they've done a great job at doing that so far.
Grima has just got on the ice for Kov Long as he's out there with Muir and Zinke. That puck is sent in deep by the Majors. Forechecker there was Fenwick and Makuka. Canadians might have some numbers here as Muir, he goes to chase after the puck quickly. But it looks like that will actually be an icing call or maybe sent out of play. I'm not too sure. I thought that was at the red line, and it looks like it may have just been sent up and out of play as, of course, that line of Grima, Champagne, and Quadja, they're out there for an offensive zone face-off. Perhaps the biggest face-off of this game so far here. Canadians needing a quick goal to remain in this game. Grima there to take the draw. He wins it to Quadja as he takes around that centering pass for Champagne. He goes wide. O'Rourke collects the puck at the blue line, sending it to Ross. Ross maintaining possession, finding O'Rourke. Slap shot there, hits the shin guard. I believe that hit the shin guard of Grima. And that was sent up and out of play. Wow, that was an incredible chance for Rico Champagne all alone in front of the net. A defensive lapse from the Major, something we have rarely seen in this game. He is unable to put it home. I think he may have missed the net, either that or Cohen O'Neill got another piece of that one. He's been lights out this game. Craney, Major's able to win that draw, but the Canadians are there to collect the puck. That pass is mishandled around the back of the net by Grima. However, he does recollect it. Some physicality there from Lucas Craney trying to knock Grima off the puck, but Champagne's there, entangled in the puck battle, or Walsh, Craney, and Rico Champagne. Grima joins them. Puck battle still ensuing, and that's won by the Majors. That is the type of effort plays a coach loves to see late in the game. 3.5 to go in the game. Like you said, Sammy, JRC might be thinking about pulling Misic on their next break-in. However, the Majors making it difficult to do so as Muir trying to win that puck from them. That's Samek. Oh, he had a great chance. What a play from Perigine to break up that attempt of Samek. He would have been in all alone. Canadians looking to drive in. Shot there, goes wide. You would think that the goalie might be pulled, but good thing he didn't. Samek tries to find Fenwick. He's unable to get that cleanly, and he will skate back, playing a game of keep away right now. Nice move, nice skating move there from Fenwick, and he sends it down low. Dupuis was cycling that for Samek, although that is turned over deep within the Canadian zone. 2.5 to go here. Canadians, Quadja trying to find Grima. Grima could not get a shot off. Good defense from the Majors, not allowing the Canadians to get anything as the net is pulled. That shot is sent way down. No goal. No icing either. He made sure to get to the red line. That is a smart play from the Majors. Take a shot, but make sure you are past the red line. 2 minutes to go here. 6-on-5 for the Canadians. Carter Cross for the Majors trying to get that puck before the Canadians do. Canadians able to cycle that puck down low. Champagne, Grima, Quadja out there, obviously. O'Rourke, shot. That hits a shin pad and goes wide. Picked up by the Majors. Needs to get rid of it, and he does. Will that be enough for an icing? No, it won't. What a fantastic clear. Not even close to the red line, but still forcing the Canadians to regroup. That's turned over. And that will be a goal. Ryder Nobes sending this one home 4-1 off the empty netter.
And wow, I mean, I haven't spoken for a while because it has been so back and forth in the neutral zone, but really no grade A chances from the junior Canadians. We saw a couple centering passes just minutes ago, but the Majors, a fantastic job to keep the puck out of the high danger areas. And we saw it on full display as well in the offensive zone. First to the puck on a lot of those dump ins. And, I mean, that's what you need to see. If you want to win a game in this division, if you want to win a GTHL championship, you have to want it more. And from what I've seen, the Majors have wanted it more. They're winning all these puck battles. They're finishing all their checks. And this has been a flawless game from this squad.
Here's a chance here for Zinke, trying to get it through the 5-hole, although that hits the pad of O'Neill, trying to keep his near-perfect form in this game, although a good chance for Zinke to pull it within 2. Although up 4-1 with less than a minute and a half to go. Looks like the Majors will be taking this game and taking a series lead by a game of 1. And now I know it's only a 5-game series, as there is a minute left to go here, and that's just dumped down by the Majors. I know this is a 5-game series, so it would seem that this first game might be important as any. Can you just speak to the importance of, how crucial a Game 1 victory is in a series like this?
I mean, setting the tone is pivotal. It's so important to get your confidence in this series and pushing the junior Canadiens. They aren't necessarily back against the wall. It's going to be one game. Anyone can come back from that. But, they're going to be thinking in the back of their minds, if we go down next game, if we go down in Game 2, we have a mountain to climb. And so the Majors, they are in the driver's seat, of course, up 1. But mentally, they do have that, okay, we've shown what we can do now. We've shown that we deserve to be here. And the Majors, they've shown if they can beat what has been the best team in the GTHL so far this year in the U16 division, they've shown that they can beat anyone. They truly have a chance. And you talked about it on the broadcast. They may be an underdog in this series, but if they keep playing the way they're playing, if they keep holding the junior Canadiens to playing the way that they're playing right now, then maybe your prediction will be right.
Could be a long series for the Canadiens. However, I do just want to note something very quickly as time does wind here. I'll get to my point in just a minute. But time will wind down here as the Majors end up taking Game 1 by a score of 4-1. And you know what? I'll save my thoughts for the post-game show. So without further ado, let's send this one back to the booth.
Well, there you have it, folks. The Markham Majors taking Game 1 in the semifinal series by a score of 4-1. And what a game it was for the Majors. In every single facet of the game, offense, neutral zone, and defense, it seemed like they just were able to figure out the Canadiens' game plan and really just set the tone and set the pace of this game for its entire duration. A great game for the Majors. I'm sure for the Canadiens, they're looking to respond pretty, I guess, I don't know what the right term is, but they want to respond in a big way next game.
Certainly. I mean, we talked about it on the broadcast. Game 2 could be really important, in the back of the junior Canadiens' minds. They're thinking, if we go down in this game, we got a mountain to climb. I mentioned it earlier, but I thought the Majors played one of the best games we've seen so far this season, if not the best. They just played such smart hockey, and you talked about in our Marlboros versus Kings, your prediction, you said that it would be the Majors that would win it all. And I don't even hate the take. They are the underdog in this series, but we saw that they are here to play. They played such a smart, sound game. They were winning the 50-50 puck battles. It just looked, and I mentioned this before as well, like they wanted it more. And you saw it on full display, and that's why they got the win today.
I think you are exactly right, Sammy. And like we were saying a fair bit on the broadcast, junior Canadiens, they let in 3 goals, not only in the game, but in one period. That's some unfamiliar territory for this junior Canadian squad. That's kind of got to rattle in your head throughout the game. Maybe it won't exactly fall into the next game, but there's going to be something there now heading into Game 2, and whether they respond in a good or bad way, only time will tell. But let's just get to our 3 stars of the game. Sammy, who do you have?
My 3rd star, I have Simon's favorite player in the league, Konstantinos Huseas. He is one of the best defenders we've seen. He picked up a goal to make it 3-1. Although it wasn't the game winner, it was the goal where we were like, the Majors might win this game. And it was a beautiful shot from the slot. He has one of the better shots on the team, one of the better shots in the league. And we saw it on full display there. For a guy with his size, he's super speedy. And he's just always an impact every time he gets on the ice. My 2nd star, I was this close to putting him as my first star. I was this close, I tell you. But I have to go with Cohen O'Neill. I mean, Cohen O'Neill, I said before the game started, I said he's the type of goalie who can steal games. He played very well. I wouldn't say that he was the only factor. I wouldn't say he stole it by himself. He was part of the heist, stealing the game from the junior Canadiens, but he looked fantastic. To rob Jackson Zinke on a breakaway in that fashion, then the Majors go back off that momentum, score a goal. I mean, that is what the playoffs are all about. Both sides playing at the highest level, and we saw it on full display. He set the example. He set the tone. Great game from O'Neill. But you got to give it to the guy who had 3 points, an assist on Huseas's goal, the first goal of the game, as well as the fourth goal of the game, the empty net goal. What a game it was from Ryder Nope. Something about the Markham Majors and having good riders on the team. Of course, Ryder Cali a couple of years ago for the Majors was their guy. And it was just an incredible game to watch from him. He was just so offensively minded. That first goal was such a smart play from the Markham Majors. And this game, it was Nobes that capitalized the most. You know, he wasn't the only player on the ice, but he was the player that finished the job, and you got to give him credit where credit is due.
Yeah, Ryder Nobes, what a game. Just a complete game from every single player on this Markham Majors team, as you said, Sammy. Now, going back to just the goaltender talk for just a little bit before we wrap up here. Zidane JC was pulled after the third goal. I want to get your takes on that. We did talk a little bit about it in the broadcast, but now that we have a little bit more time to decompress here, what were your just initial thoughts on the pulling of Zidane JC?
I thought it was unnecessary. I did kind of get into it earlier, but I mentioned you had a power play goal from the Majors as well as a penalty shot goal from the Majors, and it just I don't think they needed to do that. I really don't think that they needed to shake JC's confidence. The only redeemable thing I could think of is the coach going up to JC and being like, they're not playing in front of you. We have to kickstart them. It's not your fault, perhaps. But to me, it kind of seems like they were trying to assign blame to JC. When we watched those goals, it wasn't his fault. He was left out to dry. And to me, it could be the coaches saying, okay, I guess Misic is the guy. So I'm really excited to see what happens in Game 2, because now both goalies have played a fair bit. I imagine they start Misic in Game 2, but you never know. So it did seem like a weird statement from the junior Canadiens coach. And like you said, I think they were panicking a little bit. I think something in the back of their mind was like, this hasn't happened to us this season, and now they're a little bit worried.
Stories already presenting themselves early into the semifinal series. Game 2 will be coming shortly between the Majors and the junior Canadiens, but until then, that is all for us. Please remember, there is another semifinal series matchup that we are doing the broadcast commentary for. That would be the series between the Vaughan Kings and the Toronto Marlboros, so please be sure to go check those games out if you're interested. And for now, that is all from us. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, my name is Simon Hendricks. He's Sammy Brzozowski. And until next time, have a great day, everybody.
On a breakaway, scores! Big hit up the blue line.
And he got waffle boarded.
What a save! He shoots, he scores.
Drives in, score!
This is the Six Hockey.